Am I the asshole for abandoning my wheelchair-bound best friend in a mall parking lot? Throw RA. I've been friends with, let's just call her AA, for about 11 years. 3 years ago she was involved in a car accident which left her wheelchair-bound. I'm 16 now, and I've been her best friend since I was 5. Her crash was a rough time for me personally as well, of course not as rough as hers, since my friend was in a car crash, and I just lost my dog. But I put her in front of losing my dog, even though 13-year-old me was wrecked, and tried my best to be her rock while she was in tough times. After she got better, we hung out and was the same as before. Just that as time went on, I felt like the power balance wasn't equal anymore. I was always taking care of her, and everything had to go her way. To an extent, I was okay with this since I couldn't fathom going through what she was going through, so I kept my mouth shut and was there for her. Every phone call, every text, can you do this for me? I did it. But at one point, I found that I held some resentment towards her, and this grew as everyone around me just expected me to take care of her. I couldn't do certain things because it reminded her of when she could walk, and I couldn't hang out with other people cause she felt like she was losing me. I had to get up whenever she wanted to get something, pick up whatever food she ordered, tie her shoelaces, carry her bags around, walk her dog, take her things to class, and so on. Whenever I complained or tried to vent, I was always hit with the, but imagine what she's going through, poor thing. And so, the resentment grew and grew. This blew up yesterday. Yesterday, we were at the mall picking things out, even though because of my asthma I really didn't want to go out, and she got caught with some unpaid clothes in her bag. She just blamed me, in front of everyone in the store, and only when the security camera showed her putting something in her bag, she admitted to lying. I was furious, and after I called a car for her, told her to stay away from me and find someone else to take care of your lazy ass since I'm not your fucking mom, and left her in the surprisingly well-lit parking lot. Her mother, who was absent through a lot of this time due to God knows what, phoned my mother, saying I broke her daughter's heart and abandoned her in a parking lot, and everyone, except for my dad, is telling me that I crossed a line and put her in danger, and to put myself in her shoes. Everyone is telling me that I'm not a true friend and that I'm selfish. It's kind of getting in my head, and if I'm as right as I thought I was. Sorry about how long this is. This was about 2.5 years worth of venting, but am I the asshole?
Not the asshole. Apart from the justifiable resentment, she committed a crime and tried to blame it on you. That has nothing to do with her being disabled and everything to do with her having no morals and no regard for you. And the you can't do this because I can't and you can't have other friends because me, is so selfish and manipulative. This person is not a friend.
Not the asshole. Someone here is not a true friend and it isn't you. She has taken advantage of you and topped it off by trying to blame you for her own crime. This person is not someone you need in your life.
NTA. She lied to try to get you detained instead of her. Dump her ass.
Not the asshole. She tried to use you to beard petty theft. Sounds like she doesn't treat you as a friend.
Not the asshole. Your friend has been through a terrible thing but does not sound like a nice person and comes across as selfish and demanding. To try to frame someone for a crime they committed themselves is a low shot and in any other circumstances would most likely end the friendship, so why shouldn't that be the case here?
Not the asshole. You're right. I'm not a true friend. Because I'm not her friend. And just go on your way. You don't have to do anything for her. Especially because she'd rather you go to jail. That's not a friend. She's a thief.
My rule of thumb is that once someone tries to frame you for a crime, your responsibility to them is over. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Say to all those calling you one that would they want to risk going to jail for her kleptomaniac self? That she stole, tried to get you arrested by lying, and you could have had charges pressed against you, had security not checked the cameras. She is a selfish girl who will one day be held accountable.
Not the asshole. She tried to throw you under a bus for her offense. Tell everybody who is criticizing you that without the video evidence, you would have been charged and end up with a criminal record. Cut her and them dead.
She tried to rope you for shoplifting and you still called her a car. You are more of a friend than she deserves. You are not the asshole in any way. I would have just left her there to deal with the cops herself. Once the store said you were good to go, of course. Holy cow, she is entitled and needed a wake-up call.
Not the asshole. Sorry, this friend could have got up in legal trouble and possibly arrested. A criminal chance can impact your ability to go to university, get a job, WWCC, ECT. If you are willing to fuck up someone else's life, then you don't get to cry victim.
Not the asshole. Your resentment is understandable, as you basically had your life taken over by this demanding person who rewarded you by trying to have you arrested for things that she stole. She isn't worth your time, and doesn't deserve your friendship after what she tried to do to someone who had done so much for her. Never forgive or speak to her again. As for everyone who is now calling you selfish and not a true friend, ignore them. They were more or less using you by expecting you to take care of this person so that other people wouldn't have to. Take your life back and cut out anyone who tries to tell you that you are in the wrong. You're not.
Not the asshole, at all. She is using you like you're her mate and then has the guts to blame you for her criminal acts. I wouldn't stick around another second, as well. You called someone to pick her up, she assumingly had a phone to contact someone, so you did more than you owe her already. Not the asshole, you didn't even abandon her. You called her a car. A lot of people would have just stormed off without doing that.
Not the asshole. And let me let you in on a little secret, everyone in your mutual circle of friends who is giving you a hard time about how you're supposed to help your friend is doing so because it means they never have to pitch in. Not the asshole. What she did could have serious consequences. Having a record is really bad, especially when you want to get education and a good job. Not the asshole. You didn't abandon her, you got her a ride. If she wasn't disabled, nobody would have said you're the asshole. Her legs don't affect her ability to be kind. It sounds like she needs some serious therapy to work through everything that is going on in her life. You're a good person by sticking by her side for so long, but she needs to figure out life as the new her instead of leaning on you as a crutch. Both of you need to be able to live your own lives.
Not the asshole. I would not have even called a car for her. If that was my friend, I would have cussed her out and yelled it to everyone I saw as I was leaving the mall. Not the asshole. If only she could walk a mile in your shoes.
Time to sort by controversial.
Not the asshole. Physically disabled people are not toddlers.
Does everyone else know that she tried to frame you for her crime? If not, you should definitely tell them. For the past 2 years, it seems you have been her unpaid caretaker, not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Make sure everyone knows precisely what she did and that there isn't any doubt whatsoever that she committed a crime and tried to get you in trouble for it. Anyone who still thinks you should be bending over backwards for her after that is an idiot and deserves to be ignored.
Info. Why didn't the store call the police, her parents? It seems really strange they would go to the trouble of reviewing security footage to verify who shoplifted and then just let her go. Not the asshole. And according to their logic, you are such a terrible friend so you should stay far away from her. Woman shrugging.
Not the asshole. This is a big moment for you. You're no doubt going to have to be the villain here, but you did learn the value of protecting yourself.
Not the asshole. Have you pressed charges or told everyone how she stole and blamed you?
Not the asshole. What, did she also lose her arms?
I was fully prepared to say YTA in the beginning, since I spent years confined to a wheelchair, still need it for long distances, and it feels really shitty when friends leave you behind because of said wheelchair. But this girl stole, then tried to frame you. Fuck that girl. She needs to learn that just because you're disabled doesn't mean you can act out without consequences. Not the asshole.
Basically, she just proved that some clothes from the mall are worth more to her than your friendship. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. She was never your friend, she just saw you as her slave.
Not the asshole. I was fully prepared based on the title to just say you are the asshole, but WTF, she tried to blame you for a crime. I just wow, she seems like just a not great person.
Not the asshole. If she can blame you of a crime, she can walk to her house. Wait a second.
Not the asshole. Simple response to those remarks would have been, if your best friend since you were 5 was caught shoplifting and put all the blame on you, what would you do? Not the asshole. She was in a mall, not left on a highway, so you hardly put her in danger. Being in a wheelchair does not give her the right to walk all over you and throw you under a bus for her theft. Walk away for good.
Not the asshole. Surprisingly well lit. Lol.
Not the asshole. You're her friend, not her caretaker, mother. It's selfish of her to expect you to give up so much of your life. There was way too much responsibility put on your shoulders at such a young age. If she was your friend, she would want you to live your best life.
Not the asshole, but for the sake of other disabled people, try to use wheelchair user and not wheelchair bound.
Not the asshole. Where the fuck are her parents in all this? Why are you having to do tasks they should be helping her with?
Not the asshole. If anyone tried to guilt you, tell them to take care of her.
Tying her shoelaces. Is your friend a quadriplegic or a paraplegic? Wait. She shoplifted. So she can use her arms. That means she can tie her own shoelaces. She can walk her own dog. She's paralyzed. She's not utterly helpless, stuck in one of those beds. Your friend needs serious therapy. Occupational therapy and emotional therapy. She's been taking advantage of you for years. But trying to pin her crime on you is so over the line. Also, you did not abandon her. You called a car. I presume she had a phone. Security certainly was aware of her. Not the asshole.
She committed a crime and tried to blame you for it. You probably shouldn't be driving her home. You called her a car. You're good. Even without the years of resentment, I would have blown up, because she could have seriously ruined your life. Not the asshole.
Okay. So, yes, your friend did go through hell, but what does your friend being in a wheelchair have to do with her shoplifting and then trying to frame you for it? Absolutely nothing. So the phrase putting yourself in her shoes does not apply to this, because in this case they are the shoes of a jerk. Not the asshole. Op. You have every right to be upset about your friend trying to hook you up with a criminal record. I would have left her ass there too.
So, getting this straight, she accused you of a crime, was found to be lying, and you are being made out to be the bad guy in this scenario? Insanity. Disability is irrelevant in this situation, and so is your resentments, to be honest. It was a justified reaction for this incident anyway, let alone all the other exhausting stuff. Not the asshole, and your ex-friend needs some serious counseling ASAP.
Not the asshole. At all. I'd have a hard time putting myself in her shoes because 1. I wouldn't be comfortable making everyone else do things for me. 2. I would never shoplift. 3. If I committed a crime, I'd never blame it on my best friend. Honestly, it sucks that you've had to learn this lesson the way you did, but not all friendships are worth holding onto. Not the asshole. This person is no longer your friend. If people question it, tell them the truth. She only has herself to blame for looking bad. Also, people with disabilities can still be assholes. I had a roommate in uni that tried to frame me for shoplifting. She put the item in my backpack. Lucky for me, they had video surveillance. I moved out and never spoke to her again. She tried to ruin my life like your so-called friend did. And after you took care of her. NTA. Tell everyone why you are no longer friends. I'm glad your dad has your back.
Not the asshole. Also, former friend. The part where she forbids you from hanging out with others is particularly troubling. If y'all were romantically involved, everyone would be screaming, rightly, that you were in an abusive relationship and needed to get out. You should do the same here. Remember, kids, friends don't commit crimes and then attempt to place the blame on you. I hope you cut her out of your life.
Not the asshole. She tried to pin a crime on you. That is unacceptable, and you should probably cut this friendship, seeing how it's taking its toll on you.
OMG sweetie, you are not the asshole. Just because she's in a wheelchair doesn't mean she gets to decide what you two do together. You should get to do things you want to do. If she can't do those things, then you should be able to go out and make new friends to do those kinds of things with. But for her to try and steal something and try and blame it on you is so not fair. Tell your parents just because she's disabled doesn't mean she gets to have everything she wants. You still have to live your life.